Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of No Man's Land with AF Farms. So it's January, winter is here, as you can see. It looks very cold. Oh, actually, we're not going to go this way. So what we're going to do today is we are going to go sell some bread. So I've just checked the price of bread, and it is currently at the maximum price for sale at the moment. So just have a look at that visual. So obviously the trees have lost their leaves. The olives are still looking nice and lush as they do, which is pretty cool. So we'll just drive over to the warehouse. We'll jump in the Profi liner, which is this one here. First of all, we'll just jump into productions and just double check that. So we haven't got the max price, but we've got the pretty close to. So it says January is about the peak. So based on that, farm shop. So we're going to go sell at the farm shop. So let's get this underway. Okay, and we are looking for bread. So let's have a look at the price of flour too, actually. So the price of flour is the highest as well in January, so we might sell a load of flour as well, because we are producing in excess of what our industrial bakeries are using, so might as well make some money while we're here. And we'll go for a bit of a drive around the farm. We'll go the long way to the shop, because I want to show you a new addition to the landscaping of the farm, which I think is pretty nice. Obviously in January it's not going to look very good because all the foliage on the so I'm just going to close that rear door. So obviously, yeah, the seasons changed the visual look of the map quite significantly. However, you'll sort of get an idea of what we've got going on with our plans for a bit of a forestry sort of area. And when I say forestry, what I'm really talking about is just kind of decorative forest areas in between fields. So you'll see coming up straight ahead, we've divided our vineyards slash olive grove, and on the left here we've separated this field, so we've made that a bit smaller. Down there you can sort of just back up a little bit. You can see a nice big row of trees we've got there. So obviously you can see through it at the moment, but when that's in full bloom it looks pretty good. Over to the right here, or straight ahead where I'm looking, you can see a nice square field. I've added a green border, so that's just a grassed area, help the tractors turn around. And same on the left here. So I talked about in a previous episode, this is probably going to be for sugar beets or potatoes or something similar. I've also put in a green wall dividing these two fields, so you can see it stretching down that way and straight ahead. So we've got poplars in there, we've got American elms, we've got pagoda dagwoods, what else we got? A couple of other tree types that I can't. Oh, Dawny service berry, which is in there as well. Over here on the green hill, you can see I've painted it and got rid of the brown spots. So there was obviously textured forest ground from where the old pine forest or the spruce forest was. Over on the left there you can see some bumpy areas that I'm going to smooth out as well with the landscaping tool, but I've painted it, put in the meadow texture, which is basically this grass here, just to make it look pretty uniform. Get back in the truck here. Nice view from inside the man truck. On the right here, I've sort of shaped up this field as well, give it a bit of a border. I'm probably going to reduce the size of this dirt road because it doesn't need to be that big, but it just helps the big seeders and the big sprayers turn around more easily. Another big project was basically putting in a bit of a garden bed along this boundary edge of the map. So once again, we've gone hard with the American elms, poplars, the thornyberry, I think it's called. So it's a medium-sized tree. It's actually that one there, and that's the American elm with no leaves, and this is the poplar with no leaves. So they obviously look different throughout the year. So it does actually, I do actually like the visuals of the seasons. I didn't think I'd like it that much, but I think the visual interest in the game just gives it that different scenery from month to month, which is really cool. Plus we get to drive around and sort of look at it all. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this field yet. So I'll just zoom in a little bit so we're not looking through the trees. So that's quite a big field. I could probably halve it, divide it up. What I think I might do is I might run another sort of green wall. So I've been calling them the green walls. It's like a giant hedge, really. Sort of run them around the border of the map, and then run them across fields in various configurations. So it looks like essentially there was a huge thick forest here, and the fields have just been carved out where the forest used to be, because you can see them from the distance. So obviously they don't render fully when in the distance, but you kind of get the sense that they're there, which I think is pretty cool. Alright, coming up to the shop, so we're just gonna pull in and drop our load off, and then we'll head back to the shop. I'll head back to the warehouse, grab some flour and sell that as well. So full load of bread here, which is pretty good. So let's see how much we get for this. So obviously the animation here just kicks in. It'd be pretty good if the pallets reflected what the actual product was, rather than just the generic sort of boxes we see here. But I mean, the fact that I don't have to load this trailer manually is amazing. So almost there. So that's 176,000. Nice. Alright, let's close that door. It's going to be a bit tricky to get this out of here, but actually what we might do is we'll drive down, do a U-turn, and come back. So I've also got some plans for this shop area. Obviously you can't edit the shop, it's restricted, but around it you can landscape, build whatever you want. So over to the right here I'll probably put in some shops and stuff, some sell points, and then along this road we'll make it a main road, and we'll have sell points, various shops along here. I've got the gas station mod, so I'll probably put the gas station maybe in the middle, and then we'll build out maybe some other farmhouses, residential type areas, just to give it a bit more of a country city sort of feel. Obviously not too dense, but small country town. Keep it in line with the theme we're going for. So it's not quite English countryside, it's not quite American countryside, it's sort of a bit of a mixture. And then I'm thinking over here somewhere, probably in that far left field, we will put the solar farm in. So I haven't decided whether I'm going to use the XXL lizard solar park, or if I'm just going to build out an array with the large solar collectors. I did a bit of testing with that recently, and the large solar collectors appear to be better in terms of return on investment and what they generate. So, and obviously they're a fair bit cheaper. Look, we could probably do another load of bread. Yeah, look, let's do another load of bread, even though it's not a full load. Pretty close. So we might take a drive over to where I'm thinking the solar farms are going to go, and how I'm going to configure it. And you can see that brown texture over there, so that's going to go as well. That's the forest ground where the old trees used to be. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go with the spruce trees or if I'm going to go with the... Let's get that door closed. So we'll go up this way. And then obviously this field on our right here, it needs a little bit more smoothing. So you can really see with the green, with the barley that's planted, it shows up the shape of the hills. So I'll probably aim to sort of smooth that out a bit more. The wind farm, so that's a new addition too. It's actually generating me quite a bit of money through the winter months, which I found in the testing. That's when they tend to perform best. So I get about 200,000 per month in winter. So go figure on that. Maybe it's windier in winter. Who knows? Right, so over to the left here. So obviously over to the right, we've got, this is all going to be trees and built up and be pretty dense. I didn't obviously extend the farm in this area because it was a little bit too steep. But we've still got a significant area to fill in, so that it's going to be quite expensive, so I want to have plenty of cash for that. But I'm thinking the solar farms are going to go in this area here where it's nice and flat. It's away from the main farm. It gets pretty good sunlight. Like I think the sun rises over there. So it's going to be directly facing that area. Not that I think that impacts the return on investment for your solar panels, but just for me in this farm, probably makes sense that that's where it goes. Sort of tucked away towards the edge of the map. Just build it out over time, let it do its own thing, and start getting that passive income. So we're driving up the top of the farm here. So this is also another big field. So it's very hilly. It's got the rolling hills, which I like. So I may leave this as is because I do want to have a couple of big fields, a couple of medium-sized fields, and then obviously to the right here, this will be all trees and sort of bushland, forest area. And obviously to the right here as well, so we'll build that out as well. And we've got another road dividing the fields on the left coming up. So you can sort of see the size and the... Now I may reduce this field because this hill is very steep and the equipment has a hard time getting up it. So I may cut this field back a little bit. Figure out what I might build here. Could just be forestry, could be just grass, I'm not sure yet. And then we're sort of coming into the shop area here. So let's get this load sold. Let's have a look at the price quickly for bread. It's still roughly the same. So making pretty reasonable money out of this, which is good. Alright, might try and back this out this time. There we go, close that back door. 155,000, beautiful. Alright, let's go and get some of that flour. So I think we've got wheat and barley planted at the moment. Might be the wheat on the right, barley on the left. And the other thing too is I'm going to look to reduce these fields a little bit in size too. So what I've done over in the back right hand side of the farm is reduce those fields down a little bit further. So sort of slight impact on the yield, but because the farmable area is so huge anyway, you're not really missing out on that much product. The other reason why I put those sort of fenced green walls, if you will, in was to prevent the equipment from going into other fields unintentionally. So the worker, for example, would when planting overplant into the other field, and it would destroy what I had planted. So no, that's not going to get the marker, is it? Nope. It's a bit fiddly. Okay, there we go. So it's going to be backed right up. Oh, we've got canola oil too. Actually, I'll wait till I get a full load of that. Where is the flour? There we go, we'll do one load of flour. So I may also look for some other mods that use flour other than the bakery, because currently it's just for cakes and bread, and I haven't got cakes in the production chain yet, so it's just bread and flour. Let's have a look at what flour was worth. 2,000. So peak price is about January anyway, and then it drops off sharply in February. So probably not a bad time to sell, actually. Let's do this. And obviously this truck yard, I'll start to really build that out. This field here, I think I'm going to put another wall of trees in somewhere. And I'm also going to put another wall of trees in just next to this olive grove over here, just to sort of separate the two areas a bit more. And I'm actually going to put some more olive groves in just to widen and thicken up that patch. And if I ever decide to get really back into the olive farming, I've got plenty of olives there to work with. The issue I've got with them at the moment is just the time it takes to harvest. I mean, if I had 6 people helping me, or even even 2 or 3, you'd get that area done in a third of the time. But you'd also want to have a bigger area to harvest in the first place, so you can maximize the yield and make it worthwhile, which currently it's probably a little bit on the small side. To really get the volume you'd need to make a lot of money. Whoa, I was lucky. All that would happen there is I just need to get the forklift or the front loader and flip the trailer back over. It's happened to me before with the road train quite a bit. So you don't necessarily lose the product. It's only if you reset the vehicle and trailer, then you lose what's inside. So you want to try and avoid that as much as possible. And let's see what we get for this load. 66,000, so not too bad. Alright, I think we'll leave this video there for today. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please leave a comment and like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, that really helps me out. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.